Welcome to The Explainer. There is a huge shakeup happening inside Apple, and it all boils down to one very big, very public problem: Siri. So today, we're going to break down why Apple's head of AI is out and what this all means for the future of your iPhone. Okay, so here's the big headline. Apple's head of AI, Gianandrea, is officially on his way out. Now, he's not gone just yet. He's going to stick around as an advisor until he retires in 2026. But let's be clear, this is not your standard retirement party. This move is the direct result of a massive setback for the company.
So, what exactly went wrong here? Because this is no quiet farewell. To really get why this is happening right now, you have to look back at the incredible promises Apple made about its AI, and the spectacular failure that came right after.
The whole story, the whole reason for this departure really comes down to what's being called a major Siri failure. It's a classic tale of a tech giant trying to catch up in the AI race and, well, stumbling pretty hard right out of the gate.
It all kicked off at Apple's big 2024 Worldwide Developers Conference. The company went all in on this new thing called Apple Intelligence. This was supposed to be a revolutionary, way smarter version of Siri. We're not talking about a small update. This was pitched as an assistant that could finally understand you, your personal context, know what's on your screen, and weave itself into all your apps. This was meant to be the killer feature for the new iPhone 16.
And this timeline just lays out the broken promise perfectly, doesn't it? After that massive announcement in 2024, everyone was expecting these features to roll out pretty quickly. But then, fast forward to early 2025, and Apple has to come out and admit that the supercharged Siri just isn't ready. The new release date, spring of 2026. That's almost a 2-year delay for what was supposed to be their flagship feature. Ouch.
And a delay like that, it has huge consequences. This wasn't just some missed deadline. It reportedly set off an exodus of top talent from the AI team. People got frustrated and left. Apple was left scrambling, and that scramble ultimately led to the huge leadership shakeup that we're talking about today.
So how is Apple trying to fix this whole mess? Well, it's not as simple as just swapping one person for another. No, they're completely blowing up and reorganizing their entire approach to AI. And of course, that starts with a new leader at the top. So Gianandrea is out, and taking his spot as the new VP of AI is Amar Subramania. And you have to look at his resume, because it's a really big deal. He's a former VP of AI at Microsoft, sure, but before that, he spent 16 years at Google, where he was the head of engineering for, wait for it, the Gemini assistant. Yeah, Apple basically just hired someone who was on the front lines building one of its biggest competitors.
And look at this. This is not a simple one-for-one swap. It's a total restructuring. Gianandrea's old job is being carved up and split into 3 key parts. Subramania gets the core AI models, the nuts and bolts, the AI infrastructure, that goes to the Chief Operating Officer Sabih Khan, and the search and knowledge part, that goes to Services Chief Eddie Q. What this really tells us is that Apple is making AI everyone's problem to solve. It's being woven into the entire leadership team.
Okay, so with all this chaos going on behind the scenes, how is Apple explaining this to you, to me, to the public? Well, when you're facing a huge delay and a big leadership change, you go into full-on damage control mode. The goal is to reassure everyone, users, investors, that everything is actually fine and perfectly on track.
Right on cue, in the official announcement, CEO Tim Cook doesn't talk about this as a course correction for failure. Instead, he spins it as an acceleration. He thanks Gianandrea for his contributions and then says that with this new team, Apple is poised to accelerate its AI work. It's classic corporate messaging, right? You turn a big problem into an even bigger story about future opportunity.
Cook also made sure to publicly praise Craig Federighi, who's the head of software engineering, calling his role instrumental. Now, this is a really clear signal. By having the new AI boss report directly to Federighi, Apple is putting AI development right under one of its most trusted and effective leaders. They're tightening control and trying to make sure this project doesn't go off the rails again.
So, this internal shuffle is one thing, but what does it actually mean for us, for the future of Apple products? With this new team taking over, what should we really be watching for next?
And here it is, maybe the most fascinating twist in this entire story. After all their internal delays and struggles, Apple is now rumored to be looking at a partnership with its biggest rival, Google. The thinking is that Google's incredibly powerful AI could step in and help power some of those advanced Apple Intelligence features that Apple's own team has been struggling to build.
Which brings us to the biggest question of all for the future of your iPhone. Is this massive shakeup A new leader poached from the competition, a complete internal restructuring, and maybe even a shocking partnership with Google? Is this the move that finally makes Siri the truly intelligent, amazing assistant that Apple has been promising us for more than a decade? I guess we're all going to have to wait and see.